one of the things that I always hear about Twilight, and I admit I'm a fan. I read the books, I saw the movies, I made Twilight marathon last week with the movies on Netflix, is that oh, vampires don't sparkle. How many vampires did you meet that you know exactly if they sparkle or if they don't sparkle? Like, maybe they sparkle. Who knows? Maybe they are sparkling. It actually would make sense to be like their body density was so high that they have like texture like a crystal or like a diamond. So, why is this the main issue? Like, nobody says, well, Cinderella's not real because you cannot turn a pumpkin into a carriage and you cannot turn mice into horses. But no, we have an issue with Twilight because vampires don't sparkle. I think that it's everything that the point of view that you have is important. Like, it's very important to decide if you read a book that is fiction and you decide this is not realistic, this is just like a fairy tale. So you have to read it a little bit like a fairy tale. And let's be honest, ladies, if a guy would be 100 years old, do you really think that he would be a virgin? Honest, like he was 107 years old and he never, ever with no one. And he was such a cutie pie. Like, okay, I understand not with humans, but with other vampires. Do you really, really believe it? This is what is unbelievable for me in Twilight. Not the fact that they sparkle. Okay, they sparkle, whatever, but he never, never. Because most of them have, and not only with the mate, but also with other people. Because there's this idea that they stay with the same mate for life, but if you read the books carefully, you will find out that Jasper had other relationships, and that probably also Carlisle dated during his long life. Like, I don't think that he was a Virgo when he met whatever was his wife's name. I forgot now. But I don't have an issue with the story. I enjoy the story. And if you never watched the movie, just go and watch it on a streaming service or wherever because it's everywhere. And if you watch it open minded, the way you would watch The Beauty and the Beast or Frozen or whatever, you're going to have a good time because it's sweet. You have a teenage girl. Think out of this perspective. She was a 16-year-old girl in love for the first time, and Edward was the first shadow daddy because he had powers. He was way older, even though he looked very young, like he looked as if he's the same age as she is, and he probably put the base for Rhysand, for Xaden, Ryerson, for all the shadow daddies that came after, because it was just adorable. It was cute. He loved her. He loved her with this daddy dom kind of devotion where he wanted to put her under a glass dome and protect her for everyone and everything. And yes, it's not realistic. Naturally, it's not realistic. The fact that your boyfriend is going to be able to recite Romeo and Juliet is not realistic. The fact that he sparkles is the last of our concerns. Like, he's sweet, he's faithful, he's dating just her. Like, he's not dating anyone else. That's the unrealistic part. But again, you have a dude that turns into a dog. A lot of guys are dogs, so what's the problem? Again, he turns into a wolf, excuse me. But I love the scene where Jake jumps over Bella and he just turns into a wolf. And I remember being at the cinema and watching it for the first time. And when he takes off his shirt, one of the guys in the audience was like, "What? This is not fair. The guy's a werewolf." And it was super funny. But I highly recommend it for the holiday season. Convince your boyfriend, and if you're a guy or if you never watched it, you should just watch it at least once because it's romantic and there are some cute chicks and there are some cute guys, and why not? Okay, Bella gets a little bit obsessed over her first love. Everybody gets obsessed over their first love. Don't be in your 30s mentally now. Remember how it was when you first fell for someone, when everything was new and it was exciting and it was that feeling as if that person is suddenly the center of your universe. If you judge it out of the point of view of a grown up, you're going to be like, eh. And yes, you can say it's icky because he was way older, but think about it like that. Like Rapunzel was stuck in her tower. How old was she? 2000 years old, and the guy was like 25. So you had a huge age gap. And yes, you have an age gap, but the age gap is not visible. Probably it's a mental age gap. And Edward, in a way, is very innocent. Like, you would not accept a man that's 107-year old to be so innocent from so many points of view. You would expect him to be more jaded, maybe to be the type of, oh, I already saw everything and did everything. But this story put the base of in human monster romances, even though Edward is very beautiful and there's nothing monstrous about him in his appearance. But it was the first time when a vampire loved the human in literature. And yes, you're going to tell me about Charlene Harris and the Vampires of the South, and I agree. That also puts the base of vampire human relationships. And if you read books, Sookie Stackhouse dated other species too, like she dated shifters. She even dated in the book a tiger shifter. She dated wolf shifters. Like, there was the early 2000 something when those books started to appear, and they had like a very fun storyline, and there was a little bit of smut in the Vampire of the South, but not too much, and it was just a very, very entertaining read. So I'm the last person who is going to book or movie shame anyone. Like, read, watch whatever floats your boat. I don't care. I'm just saying that as a Transylvanian and as vampires being my first monster love, I don't agree with the hate that poor Andy is getting. Like, he's sparkling, whatever. He drinks animal blood, whatever. And have you seen what a clean eater he is? Like, he's not smudged all over with bloodless. Like, yeah, you are a 2,000-year-old vampire. Why is the food all over your face? Same like with human. If you are like 20, 25, are you eating like a toddler? Are you putting your face in the plate, and are you putting mashed potatoes into your hair? That's not a good idea, especially if you have extensions. You don't want to wash all the thing out of your hair. That's messy. But you you develop skills, same as with vampirism, in my opinion. You're not going to be all covered with blood, like you develop skills. You're not doing that. It's not hygienic. It's not elegant. Even if you cannot get diseases, but ew, don't do that. It's like, ew, it's disgusting. But as a huge vampire fan, as I hope for years that the vampire is going to come and turn me. I'm down to all the versions of the vampire lore, of the interpretation, especially as Vlad Tepes, Dracula, comes from my country and is connected to Transylvania very much. So but I'm cool with it. I don't mind. Like, give me vampires that cannot enter a door. Give me vampires that can enter a house. Give me all type of myths. I will be down to read it and analyze it. And to this day, I can't. There's one thing that I cannot agree with. If somebody tells me that vampires are out of style, from my point of view, vampires are never going to be out of style. They're like the little black dress. They're always going to be in fashion because there's a lore, a allure, a something special about a monster that has the most beautiful human appearance and that can come at night into your house. But I also like in newer versions of books, especially written by indie authors. If you go on Amazon, you're going to find Bill the Fat Vampire, who was hilarious and made me laugh, and I was tearing up when I read that book. Like, you have this vampire who doesn't look vampiric at all. Like, he's not conventionally attractive. He's like this overweight guy, and it's just funny. And there's another one with the nerdy vampire. I'm ready. I love and I devour all vampire lores or vampire stories because they are just so much fun. And we as humans always love things that go bump in the night. So let me know what you think about Twilight. Let me know if you watched it. Let me know what bothers you the most and what's incredible about the story in the comments. Thanks. Ciao, ciao.